You're listening to the Talking Shrimpers podcast, sponsored by Surgical Holdings.
Welcome to the Talking Shrimpers podcast. This is the pilot episode. I'm your host, Sensei Phil. Now, we are a live show, which is either brave or nuts. I'm not quite sure which. So anything can go wrong, and it is going wrong. I've got Finn with us, one of our co-hosts. Evening, Finn.
Evening, Phil. How are you?
I'm good. Now, we're trying to get Charlie on. He's having issues getting on. And also, Matt won't be joining us tonight, our stand-up comedian, because he's stuck in Egypt. His flight got cancelled and he's stuck there. It's hard not to laugh, really. The joke's on him, really, isn't it? So, listen, Charlie's going to try and get on. So we'll start with Finn. Finn, you've just released some extensive interviews on your podcast, SUFC Blues News. The latest, Ian Benjamin, one of my favourite all-time Shrimpers players. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so I've been doing podcasts for quite a while now. So but this is quite different for me because I never do live podcasts, you see. So it's still quite new for me doing live things. I've only ever done one before. But the Ian Benjamin one recently, we were trying to sort out for a while. So he was on holiday at the start of July. So I was trying to get him on then, but he was on holiday. So I left it a few weeks. But yeah, it was brilliant. And I love doing the older ones from players that I never got to see because I like to learn about the history basically by doing my own research directly, asking people, talking to people. But yeah, he was brilliant. Really opened up about a lot of things, not just the good times either. A lot of really quite serious topics like some of the racism he kind of faced and stuff like that. But yeah, and then he obviously focused on the good times of the promotion with Southend and things like that. So yeah, he was a really, really good guest and a really nice guy off camera too.
Yeah, I've not managed to listen to it yet, but really looking forward to it. Like I say, one of my favourite all-time players. Yeah, it'd be great if you can get. I was thinking the other day, Andy Answer. If you can get him, that would be amazing. Yeah. He was probably my favourite player. So put that on your list.
Well, Andy Leader from Super, the Ex-Players Association, he helps so much with these podcasts and stuff. So big shout out to Andy.
Excellent. Oh, it looks like Charlie's decided to arrive. Evening, Charlie.
Good evening. Let's see how long this lasts.
I was just saying it's a live show, so anything can go wrong. It's all going wrong. Matt's stuck in Egypt. You couldn't get on, but you're here now. Brilliant.
I know, of all days for it to not work, but we're here.
We did a test, didn't we? 15 minutes before, no problem.
Yeah, that's life for you.
Yeah, indeed. So, so Charlie, you've been busy with, a lot of our social stuff, which has been amazing. We've been planning this for absolute months now, and we're here at last. So, yeah, how does it feel?
Yeah, as you say, we've been doing it for a little while now. The social media thing, it's something new to me. I'm still finding our feet, but hopefully people are enjoying what they're seeing, and we'll have better things to come.
Excellent. So we're going to start the podcast off by rewinding back to May. So obviously a lot has happened since the end of last season. We managed to sneak in the playoffs. So we're going to talk about that not much because it's quite miserable, isn't it? We've got a lot on the show today. We're going to look at Kev's testimonial first, which was way back in May. We had a number of ex-great players playing. Chrissy Powell, Daryl Flahaven, Adam Barrett, Mark Gower, Duncan Jupp amongst them. Brilliant. For the Premier League All-Stars, we had John O'Shea, obviously very decorated player for Man United and Republic of Ireland. Wayne Routledge, who is a great talent on Palace and Spurs. Still looked very good that night, actually. Great feat. And TV personality, Mark Wright. He's been played in a lot of charity games and, he's not a bad player as well, actually. He can play a bit. I think he played for, I wouldn't like to guess, was it one of the lower league clubs for a little while?
It might have been Crawley.
Yeah, decent.
Crawley?
Who was it?
I think he might have played for Crawley. I think it might have been.
Yeah, I think that was it, Crawley. Yeah. No, I think you're right. Yeah. So
I
yeah,
think it was when
he's
his
decent as
brother was
well.
there, weren't he, as well?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So before the game, I managed to meet up with a few. Just apologies for the sound. It was a bit of a windy night, but hopefully you'll be able to listen to a few of these. So we're going to start off with Dave Martin. Then we've got Lee Bernard and John Still.
Hi, you with me is Dave Martin. Dave, you spent a bit of your career here recently under Kev's coaching team. How was that for you?
I loved every minute, to be honest. Obviously, I came at a time when it was turmoil at the club. They didn't know whether the club was going to survive. Obviously, you could only have one goalie that was playing. You could have another goalie in the squad. So Colin was playing, and then obviously had the chance when Colin got injured, and then got thrown in after 3 years of not playing, and then beat Maidenhead at home here. So it was a great experience for me being here, playing them games and 10 games that I played last season. And to work under Kev and stuff he's got here with Daz, Benno, and obviously JD now. It's been amazing, really, to see where they are this year now, and obviously fighting for that playoff spot.
Yeah, and obviously we're here for Kev's testimonial tonight. Just a few words on Kev, and what an amazing job he's done here.
Yeah, obviously it was Dad's first one of Dad's signings. So obviously my dad brought him to the club when he was manager here. Obviously it probably wasn't a good time for my dad, but it was. Obviously he's a special guy. We've got a lot of time with Kevin. Again, I've probably made a friend for life here. So just in a short space of time, I love working underneath him, and hopefully get Southend back to where they belong.
Great, cheers, Dave. Enjoy the evening.
Thank you.
He means a lot to me. I'd first come in, he was just coming to the end of his Southend career, and he helped me a lot. He's a big character in the dressing room. Obviously, he was skipper at the time. So, I've got fond memories of Kevin, like you say, manager-wise. He's obviously taking the club, hopefully, back up to where they should be.
And looking forward tonight, hoping to get a couple of goals again?
Yeah, unfortunately, no, because I've done my back in, so I can't play tonight. But obviously, I went to be here, so I'm going to
cheering the boys on.
I'll be cheering the boys on. I'm going to say hello and seeing some funny faces.
Great stuff. Have a great evening.
Yeah, take care.
Cheers.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I said it was a windy night. It really, really was. Last one we got is John Still.
Hopefully tonight will be a bit more relaxed.
Yeah,
we're here
like
for
so.
Kev and his testimonial.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, it's been a long while coming, hasn't it? Been a great servant for this club as a player, let alone what he's done when he's come in as manager. The transformation of the club in the last couple of years, I think everybody knows. What with Ron selling to the new consortium, the club has needed a lift. There's a lot of work going on behind the scenes, and to get the lift now on the pitch, I think it's a fantastic thing. This is, I mean, everyone knows this is by rights a Football League club playing in a league below what at least it should be. But I think that things are coming together. Kevin's done an amazing job. Staff have done an amazing job, and the supporters have done an amazing job. And it's never one person. The manager is always the one up front. He's the one that takes the pats on the back and the punches in the back. But that's the leader, and he is the leader. Great staff, great support, great club.
So, John, there'll be a few names and faces here tonight. You obviously have got a good eye for a player. Anyone got your eye on tonight?
Your boy Maher. I think he might lack a bit of pace now, but
I think he might get a penalty, funny enough.
Yeah. You know what? After the game the other night, what a special occasion this can be now. So I've known Kev since I think he was 6 when I first. I've known his family. I'm very close with his family, with his mum and when his dad was alive. My son and Kevin's brother have. If one walked in now, the other one would be with him. They're always together, and it's a special occasion for him, and I hope it's a special season for him as well.
Great. Well, I'll let you go, John.
Cheers, mate.
Enjoy the evening.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, so that was John Still. Charlie, like I said, it was a long time coming. Just how much has Kev achieved at the club, do you think, and can he go a step further? You're on mute, Charlie.
There you go. I was saying, I think for last season, to get where we was and to get us into the playoff final is an incredible achievement. He's he's a passionate man. He bleeds Southend. There's probably opportunity for him to move on, but he wanted to stay. He sees that this club can get back into the Football League, and he wants to be the man to get us there. And I fully believe that he is the right man. We're playing some very good football under him, and with the additional players that we got this season, I think we could have a real go at it this year.
So you're breaking a little bit there, Charlie. But yeah, he has done an incredible job. Now Maher was on the score sheet a number of times. Not just Kev, but his kids, Noah, Cody, and Milo. So it was a really interesting night. So first of all, Noah came on, and Noah's got good feet. He's a good little player, actually. He great movement. He managed to get a goal, and he told me yesterday, actually, I got a penalty and I got another goal. He wanted to make sure that we mentioned that. So Noah, that was Noah's introduction. And then little Cody, bless him. Now his mum, Fiona, told me before the game that they couldn't actually find a shirt small enough for him to play on Kev's team, so he had to play for the All-Stars. So they let Cody come on. He run through, managed to get a goal, and again, Noah reminded me that Cody missed a penalty. So, we'll let him off. He's only little. But then it got interesting. So Milo come on for Kev's side and, tried a couple of times. But then they gave the customary testimonial penalty away to let Milo take one. And then, the goalkeeping coach, Ansi, he then goes and saves it. So the ref said, retake it. So they retook it and he saved it again. It's like, everyone's like, what are you doing? So they put him through a couple of times. Same thing happened. Eventually, I think he got the message. You're not supposed to let the go, you're not supposed to save it. You're meant to let the goal in. It was the manager's son. So eventually he did get the goal. And then what was funny, at the end of the game, Kev's wife Fiona went on the pitch. She hunted him down and gave him a couple of smacks in the ribs, saying, what were you doing? What were you doing? So I actually caught up with Ansi at the playoffs after party, and I said to him, did you not have testimonials in Finland? What was going on? And he said to me, I just wanted a clean sheet. So fair play to him. I think that's a great mentality to have as a goalkeeping coach, that he wants our keepers to get a clean sheet in every opportunity, even if it means the manager's son don't get a goal in a testimonial. But brilliant. It was a brilliant night.
Forever the professional.
Really good fun. Yeah, totally. So we had one more interview. We caught up with Michael Timlin after the game.
Funny enough, when Kev come back as a coach, I played against Kev when he was obviously at Gillingham and Dagenham. I didn't have the chance to play at Southend when he was there. But when he came back, I was always used to say to him, what's happening with your testimonial and stuff. And it's nice for it to eventually happen, because I think he's one of the true legends. He was part of the teams that done really well getting to the Championship through thick and thin. I said to someone earlier today, the three people that I associate with Southend is him, Adam Barrett, and then obviously when Neil Harris came, he was a massive Southend fan. So I'm delighted for Kev, because I think the new generation coming through probably won't remember him as a player so much. They're seeing him now as the manager, and take him onto that. I think he's done remarkable what he's done this year. I think a lot of people might forget the bad moments at the start of the season, pre-season, when he didn't really have a squad to pick from, and he worked his magic, him and Darren Curry and Bentley. I think they've shown they're a good partnership, how they're doing things, and I think the togetherness that they've got in the squad showed that in the game last night.
And you mentioned last night, Southend obviously going really strong in the playoffs. You've been there, done it. How do you think they're going to go through?
Yeah, I was just talking to a few of the boys there, Bridgie and a few of the boys on either side of the pitch there after the game, and I was just reiterating to them, saying it's not always the best team that plays well wins. You just have to make sure you do all you can to get through, because once you get through to those moments, it changes everything, and it changes things for the players individually, it changes things for the team collectively, but then it's the fans, as I said this before, us as players come and go. Some of us are fortunate to play at a club for a long period, but we always have to be mindful. It's the fans that that day in, day out, they pay the money and stuff like that. And I think we always have to make sure that whatever we can do all we can for them. And by doing that, it should put us in good stead for an individual performance. But I was saying to them, if the going gets tough, it's not a problem. Just enjoy those moments, because that's what brings it. Nothing's going to be easy.
That's it. And you know all about tough moments.
Yeah.
It's great to have you back, Michael.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Thank you.
Oh, lads, he has to mention the playoffs, doesn't he? Hey, have we got over it yet, Finn?
Not quite yet. No, But to be honest, I think more than anything, probably a week after, maybe a few days, I was absolutely gutted. But I think when you really look back on it, I have good memories. It's a good day. I went to Box Park and all the rest of it, and it was such a nice day. That, to be honest, I am gutted about the result, but I had a nice Nando's afterwards, so made up for it.
That Nando's will sort it all out.
Yep.
Okay, so we're not going to do any more of the playoffs because, like you say, it's a terrible memory. Great day, but you've got to move on. I mean, you've got to move on. So we're going to move on to pre-season player signings. Now, before we talk about the players, we had another new addition, Wayne Andrews, and caught up with Wayne. This is what he had to say. So, Wayne, firstly, welcome to Roots Hall. The lads recently went to Spain. Yeah. Obviously got their sliders and sun cream ready, and then you turn up with different ideas.
Yeah, I think because I met them in the airport. So
right.
Obviously I know the favourite team from played with Benno back in the day. Obviously played against us and the manager Kevin. So yeah, it was good. I think, like I said, I've been doing this long enough. I think sometimes it's easier when you've got football people in a club, like I said, because you can blend a little bit, but it's not like I haven't played. So I mean, yeah, it was good. It was good. I think I needed to go on the tour to get to know the players, like rather than just coming in like after we've obviously been away to them. It's a little bit different, like 6 days to get to know each other. It was good. All in all, good.
Super, and obviously season's fastly approaching. What's your assessment of the squad? Do you think they're nearly ready to go, or you're going to give them a bit more running?
No. So obviously I came in knowing that the final was on the 1st of, they had a break. You know what I mean? So if you look at it from how football is nowadays, when I came, we had 8 weeks off. So you maybe get 5 at a push in without them being in the final. So most players, you're not really out of shape like that, to be honest with you. It's just more of a condition and topping up situation.
Super, great to speak to you, Wayne. Enjoy the game.
Take care, thank you.
So that was Wayne Andrews. I've got to say, really, really nice guy. I couldn't shut him up. I wanted to talk for ages. Lovely, lovely guy. And, I'm sure he's going to make a huge difference. So, yeah, listen, I think before we talk about the players, there's something we need to clear up. I think there's something fishy about this trip, if I'm honest. They all said, we trained really hard. And, I've been on football tours and I know what it's like. And I was kind of getting vibes of, have you seen the movie Mike Bassett, England manager, where he's jumping on the tables in his pants? I was getting vibes of that. It's not what I heard. So listen, Kev's an honest man. Let's hear about what really happened in Spain.
The lads have been away, which has been good to get away and focus on other stuff. But nice to see them all come through the door again this morning with a smile on their face. Yeah, I loved it. Of course, it's been a long time coming. So the trip to Spain was brilliant. yeah, it's nice. Yeah, I tried my best with 1 or 2 shots, but yeah, listen. I think we've gone through every emotion tonight, and I've got to give credit to the players for the way they kept going and going. And me, Daz, and Ben on the side going, listen, what will be now. You know what I mean? There's nothing we can do. It seemed like it was dead and buried at the end, but you shouldn't be surprised that they've gone and done it again. The players. We haven't been able to train properly at the training ground just yet, and I think the lads were a bit stiff from a 4G yesterday, so we've got to recover. It's been a real tough night, and the lads have gone to the well again. So, listen, I think they're happy they got to school again for a bit today. So, the trip to Spain was brilliant. yeah. Hopefully there's many more to come.
Revelations of Kev Maher, Charlie. What have you got to say about that?
I think we all know that's a bit of clever editing, but I'm sure they had a great time nevertheless. And I'm sure there's hope for the end of the season. That's when the partying will be happening.
Yeah, indeed. No, listen, I have it on good authority. They did work hard. Kev even said that it was so hot there. They were having to train in the morning early and later on in the evening, and in between, just not doing a lot, going to sleep. He said probably most of them. So, yeah, I think it was a good trip. Like I say, Wayne said it was a really good chance for them to bond and get the new boys involved. So we're going to hear from the new lads, and then we're going to discuss. Gary, welcome back. You think it was ever going to go through?
Yeah, there was always a good chance. It happened sort of quite quickly, I suppose, but had to wait for the right moment to actually sort of finalise it and get it sorted.
So you obviously know the lads quite well. How are the other new lads fitting in?
Yeah, no, they're. It's always a weird one coming into a football club where you don't know anyone. But I think it helps when majority of the boys are in here together from last season, and adding a couple sort of fresh faces has really sort of tightened it, bonded us, I suppose. And I think that's definitely helped when you got a group that's already been together and the new boys have come in so well. We've gelled quite quickly together.
So, Avi, welcome to the club. Joined from Slough. Obviously, you know Leon. How are you settling in with the other lads?
Yeah, no, really good. Yeah, obviously we had the trip away to Spain, which was really good. Also making good relationships on and off the pitch. So yeah, no, the lads have been brilliant since I've come in.
Super. Any targets for this season?
I'll hopefully do one better than Southend did last season.
And on a personal level?
Score goals.
How many are we going?
You always got to aim high, so hopefully 20 to 25.
Oh, I like it. I like the ambition. Cheers, Slavy. Enjoy the evening.
Thank you very much.
Harry, firstly, welcome to Southend. Wing back, not a wizard? Yeah, come on, you are a bit of a wizard, aren't you?
A little bit. No, I'm looking forward to, obviously, season starting and looking forward to hitting the ground running, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully we start well and try to do one better than last year. Obviously, promotion's the aim there.
Absolutely. So your first game here at Roots Hall tonight, how much are you looking forward to getting amongst it with the lads?
No, I'm really looking forward to it. I've heard a lot about it. I've played here before. I know what the fans are like a little bit, but let's just see and be on their side this time. It could be nice, yeah.
Great stuff. Enjoy the game. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Sam, great to have you at Southend. Obviously, you know the National League really well. Great success. What do you think you're going to bring to the team?
Yeah, I'd like to bring that success here. I think the lads have definitely got it all in and they're brilliant lads and great players. So hopefully we can go that one step further.
Excellent workout tonight. Obviously, Luton are very, very quick side, pushed the ball around, but I think, we look very good out there. How do you think you're settling in with the boys?
Yeah, settling in well. They're great lads. It was another good test. More minutes in the legs, so the more we get, we'll be ready for the first game of the season.
And we go again on Saturday against Wimbledon.
That's it. Another test and more minutes.
Indeed. So rest up, and we'll see you then.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, all good lads. We'll start with Slavy. 25 goals. Might be a bit ambitious. I like ambition, don't get me wrong. But what do you think, guys? I think he'll be lucky to get 10, 15, if I'm honest. If he can push those levels, fantastic. But, yeah, I think he's got a bit of adapting to do. What do you think?
Yeah, so my uncle is actually an Oxford fan, so he knows Slavy pretty well because he's obviously, I think he's the youngest ever goal scorer for Oxford at like 16 or something.
Right.
So obviously he used to be there before Slough. So he, when I spoke to him, I literally spoke to him yesterday about it, and he really, really rates Slavy. He thinks he's a great player. He was a little bit gutted when Oxford got rid of him, to be honest. But yeah, I really rate Slavy, and I think I've also spoken to a few Slough fans who really think he's a great player as well. And just beside Slavy for a second, Slough, I can't believe how many good players they're producing. Obviously, Leon, and they had a few others in that team as well have gone on to go to higher levels. But yeah, I think
they're a feeder club for us at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, they are at the moment. Yeah, I think I'll back Slavy to get 15, maybe 20. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens.
Nice. Be good if he does.
Yep.
Yeah, and obviously, I think he started at Arsenal, didn't he? As a youth player, so he's got a good pedigree. I saw a bit of him against Luton and Wimbledon. His movement's very good. He's a big lad. It just depends how he adjusts. I think it might take him a few games to adjust. He got a few knocks in the game. Was appealing a lot to the ref. Once he sorts that out, I think he'll be a good player for us, Charlie.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've only seen him against Wimbledon on Saturday, so I've not seen a huge amount of him. But from what I did see, he seems a real nuisance up top. He's quite a physical player. Like you say, maybe needs a little bit of adapting. He's playing a league higher now. But, anyone who's got the confidence of banging 20, 25 goals in, then I'm all for it. But like you guys have said, like 15, 20 goals, I've been more than happy with that. So, keep fit and, keep being a nuisance up top, and
Yeah. Exactly. So Sam Austin, let's talk about him. Obviously, he's a well-known player in this league. A couple of games I've seen him, like I say, against Luton and Wimbledon. I love his movement. He's talking all the time. He's obviously got that experience. I think he gives us a real option this season.
Yeah, absolutely. I think with him, that was probably potentially one of the. Well, we're going to talk about another one I was excited for in a moment, I think. But I think he was probably one of the ones I was most excited about. It came out of nowhere as well, didn't it? We didn't really hear any rumours of it or anything like that. It just dropped and it was announced. But yeah, I think he is what we need in midfield. Bit of experience. I don't know how much more business we're going to be doing, but if we did, I don't think we need another midfielder. But I would have liked to see quite a strong midfielder, but I think he does a lot of movement, and you're right, he's constantly talking. I saw him against Luton, and he looks good then. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's talks of Peterborough looking at Ollie Coker. My boy, I call him my boy. I've sponsored him a couple of years now. Great lad, Ollie. And if he does get that move, good luck to him. If we keep him, even better for us. But yeah, if he goes, obviously we may look to replace him. But we have got a lot of midfielders. Let's talk about Goody. Obviously, he's with us last season. He's now coming on a permanent. Happy with that, Charlie?
Yeah, I am. Personally, I think he's a brilliant. He's a brilliant signing for us. His communication at the back, he's a proper leader, kind of an old-fashioned centre half. Put his head where it hurts. I love watching him.
Yeah, I was very happy with that. Like you say, he brings that. He's already a known member of the team, settled in that defence, and he's very good in the air at both ends. Actually, he's a threat. Look at what he did in the playoffs. So I'm very happy with that. Let's come on to. Finn said there was one he wanted to talk about. I'm wondering if this is the one. Harry Boyes, great lad, wizard. Could put it on record, he is a wizard. He said a little bit. What I've seen of him, very, very good. Finn?
Yeah, that was the one I was going to say about who, personally, I think he might be the best of the lot in terms of signings. And I think in terms of what we need, obviously, I do think we needed that striker in Slavy. But I think in terms of what we needed, I made the call quite early on in the summer that we needed to sign a proper left back who can just claim that as their spot, because there's been a lot of, playing Leon or Bridge in that kind of wing back role. And whilst I don't mind them there, I think it's good to have a player who claims that as his own. And I think Boyd's going to do that. I saw him against Luton and he was just up and down that wing so much. His foot, that left foot is just unbelievable. The way he swings it in
quality
really low
crosses as well.
Yeah, and you saw it against Luton, Luton, Wimbledon. I believe he got the cross into the box that was scored. So I think he's going to be quality. Another Sheffield United boy as well. We like signing players from Sheffield United. So, obviously,
he is. We've had a few, and you're right. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I know Harrison Neal well, and Zach Brunt I know really, really well, and he's another one of those guys that they all played together. With Casper as well. So he's got good pedigree. Darren will know him as well from his Sheffield United days. And I think I was watching the interview yesterday. Harry played with Charlie Kendall Lincoln. So those two know each other inside out. So, that could be, like you say, I think it's that missing balance that we've got now on both sides. Which is going to be interesting. It's a dream for the strikers with the balls coming in. We've just got to convert them. On that note, obviously Danny Waldron's gone. Jack Wood's gone. Macaulay Bonne, we don't know what's happening with him. It looks like he's not going to be back. But we've had some interesting news last 24 hours. Charlie Kelman from QPR to Charlton has given us a bit of a windfall. I think the reported fee was something like 750 grand. Now, I'm not sure that'll all go into the transfer kitty. I imagine some of it will. So, potentially we could strengthen with another striker up top. There's been talks about Andrew Dallas, whether that will happen or not, whether it's just rumours. What's your opinion there, guys? Do you think we need another striker? Start with Charlie.
I think every team, you want more and more strikers, and if we can give us some more options, it's a long, tough old season. Slavy's just joined. Kendall seems to be, he's got a real bit between his teeth looking at him pre-season. If we can get another striker, bag another 10 or so goals a season, that will certainly strengthen our cause to try and get out of this league.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think next couple of weeks, what happens with any more faces coming in. But yeah, I think as a whole, the squad is pretty decent. We've kept, a good majority of them. We've had some big tests in pre-season, which I think has been really good. We were excellent, I thought, yesterday against Wimbledon. They did put themselves about a bit, I've got to say, Wimbledon. Got away with a lot with that referee. But, in the past, we have struggled against physical sides. And I think that was a good test for us that we weren't intimidated and we came through with a result. I know it was just a pre-season friendly, but, that'll give the lads a lot of confidence going into the season. So, we shall see what happens, see whether another striker comes in or not.
I think, Phil, just on that, I think how good is it to actually go into the league, this new season with a full pre-season behind us, playing some real good quality opposition, a few teams above us.
Yeah.
I think it'll put us in really good stead, something we haven't had for a couple of years now.
Yeah, definitely. Right, well, that was the end of the first half. The whistle just gone. So we've got the halftime show coming up. Don't go away. There's a lot in there. We've got a brilliant interview coming up with Nick, the first team bus driver. That's a really good one to listen to. So don't run away. We'll see you in a minute, guys.
This is the halftime show in memory of John Garrell.
Okay, so before I talk about John Garrell, I'll talk about John in a sec. Just to give you an update, England ladies have gone into extra time, of course, again. So we're keeping a close eye on what goes on there. It's going to go penalties, isn't it? You just know it. Or we might get a last-minute winner again. It's so England. It's what we do, isn't it? Men or women, doesn't matter. It's what we do best. We shall see. We'll keep an eye on that. So, yeah, halftime show in memory of John Garrell. Now, many people would have known John. John was a friend of mine, Arsenal fan, but went to Southend quite a lot, as a shrimper. John sadly passed away about 2 years ago now, at the age of about 45. With a form of blood cancer. John was a great guy. I say he went to a lot of games. A lot of fans would have known him. Took his boy as well. My best memory of John actually was about 10 years ago. So I stopped playing vets football. And I started to move into sort of jiu-jitsu competitions. And John phoned me up, and John was well known. He was a referee in the local leagues. He managed teams. He put on a lot of charity games, and he gave me a call and he said, "Oh, Phil, we got a charity game going on in a couple of weeks. But will you play?" And I said, "Well, I haven't played for a couple of years now, John. I've now moved into jiu-jitsu. It's different muscle groups. Not too sure. He said, oh, well, why don't you come and do 45 minutes? So I thought, this is a negotiation. It was so John. So I said, all right, I'll tell you what, maybe 20, 25 minutes. So he said, all right, 20, 25 minutes. So I turned up. He did say to me, oh, don't worry, we're playing guys our age. I turned up, we're playing 18-year-olds mainly. They all look really, really fit, really quick. I'm like, this is a bad idea. So, started sub as we agreed. 20 minutes. John says, Phil, coming on. So I kind of do a little stretch. I come on. And I got the ball straight away. Took past a couple of players, went in the box, and the young lads, bit naive. I waited for the challenge. They misread it and took me out. Penalty. It's like excellent. So I'm having this. I'm the main man. I'm taking this pen. I'd only ever missed one in my lifetime until then. Won't talk about that. It was terrible. So I was confident. I'm having this. So I stepped up. I'd literally been on the pitch 2 minutes. Smashed it. Hit the post. Hit the other post and out again. So, not the best start, 2 years. That's why I gave up. I've missed a penalty. So, strikers, even in that situation, you sink or swim. So, I thought, I've got to really now work hard to prove myself again. The jiu-jitsu competition, international competition, got out the window then. I was chasing everything, against these 18-year-old lads. So a couple of minutes later, I've chased this ball and I felt my hamstring go, this big tear. I was like, oh, man. I went down screaming. I then got carried off, literally tore my hamstring. So I was on the pitch for about 8 to 10 minutes. Missed a penalty, tore a hamstring, got carried off. So at the end of the game, players came off. I was, just laid out with my leg up by the bags. And John said, he just said, same time next week, Phil. And that was John. That was just John's sense of humour. He was such a great guy. Like I say, he put on a lot of charity games. And, certainly John would have been involved in this podcast. So, this is a way of us keeping him involved. So he'll be with us every halftime show in memory of him. So we've got loads to talk about. First of all, we're going to talk about this. So Roots and All book, produced by Andy Leader and a few others. You talked about this on your podcast recently, Finn. I went to the Friday night book opening a couple of weeks ago. Brilliant. Really, really good. And what I love about this is you don't have to read it back to front. You can just open it any page. There's so many stories in there from, fans, young and old, down the years. Such a great read. And I believe that their money from this book sale, they're going to try and open up a museum. There's a lot of archived Southend stuff. And they want to, super. I'm going to try and raise funds to do that. For 10 quid, I've got to say, well worth the money. So, invest in one, guys. Every shrimper should have one. Great stories. I believe you can get one through the Shrimpers Trust or, Super. So just have a look on social media and get yourselves one of those books. What else? We've got a number of charities going on. Obviously, the Gorell family are ongoing, raising funds for Blood Cancer UK. We've got to give a mention to Milo Mayer, who run a 5K mud run to raise funds for cancer research. Brilliant. Well done, Milo. Fantastic. And Chris Phillips, we got to mention him. He's done loads for mental health charities, Mind of the Student. There's a game on Sunday, August the 3rd. Bright Boots are playing in the charity match at Billericay Town's new lodge. If you're free, get yourself along to that. So I want to talk about briefly blondes in football. So, hopefully we've got a few minutes left of the game. Hopefully we'll be celebrating with two natural blondes, Leah Williamson, Chloe Kelly. There's a couple more, Alex Greenwood, Alessia Russo. They're all naturals. Hopefully we'll be mentioning them a lot more. But let's talk about converted blondes in the game. So I'm going to show you a few pictures from my phone, guys. See if you can recognize them. The blondes that did go down or didn't go down well. Now, who we got there? Yes, of course, David Beckham. I don't think that went down well with Ferguson at the time. Can we give that a marks out of 10, Finn and Charlie?
I think the colours are all right. I'm not sure about the style. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I mean, as someone who doesn't really have any,
Charlie, you take that style,
you know,
wouldn't you?
isn't fortunate in the hair department, probably. I'll take any style. Yeah. Hey, I'm here for it. I'll give him a 10.
Well,
I think
you might
he's
change your
probably the
mind
only
in a
person
minute.
who can pull it off. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He can do anything. Now, what about this one? Welsh player, Aaron Ramsey.
I can't give that to I. That's a bit of a shock.
I agree. Former Arsenal player, I'm going to give him a 0.
Yeah,
Charlie, I'm sure
not,
you're going to give good marks for this. Yeah, I'm not sold. What about this guy?
Oh, he's a player,
Lionel
isn't he?
Messi.
I'm not sure about the hairdo, though.
I'll tell you what, that's quite similar to Chris's, I think,
He's
at the
a player.
moment. So,
he can listen.
Lionel
Messi can do anything he wants. If he wants, he can have dreadlocks. He can go bald. He can go pink. He can go purple. It doesn't matter. He's Lionel Messi. He can do what he wants. You know,
very much like Beckham back in his day.
Got
innit?
one of our own.
There wasn't a hairstyle he didn't have.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. Okay, one of our own. He's done it a few times, to be honest. Charlie Kendall. I think he was pretty good.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, all I care about is if he scores 15, 20 goals, then he can have whatever hair he likes.
Yeah. Exactly, Finn. Exactly.
I will say about that.
So,
sorry, Phil. The only thing I'll say is I do actually think he played better when he had brown hair. I'm a bit nervous because he didn't play badly when he had blonde hair, but I think his real form came when he went brown hair towards the end of the season. So if it goes badly, I think we've got to start a petition to get it back to brown.
Good analysis.
It'll be interesting. There's like a superstition sort of thing as well. If he'll look at changing it.
Yeah.
Well, listen, let's see how the first 5 games go. And if he's not scoring, then I think we need to really push for him to change it back to brown. See if it makes a difference. Yeah, good shout, Charlie. Sorry, Finn. Good shout.
Well, if Slavy's got anything to go by, Slavy would have banged in about a hat-trick each game by then.
Yeah.
So true. So true. So the latest blonde bombshell, I have to show you. You mentioned him. Yeah, Chris Phillips.
Yep.
What are we thinking, boys? What is he thinking?
You know what? Nothing lower than a 20 out of 10. Great cause, great guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Superb effort and great cause. So yeah, well done to him.
I think it suits him.
Yeah, I do.
20 out of 10 for us.
You said about 4.
All of us, yeah.
I'm not sure that wasn't.
Yeah, well done,
I think
Chris.
he looks better, to be honest.
He can't change it now then.
That's 10 years off him.
Yeah, well, I did say to him, I thought he looked like Charlie Kendall's granddad, to which he said, well, at least I've got hair. Fair point. So, yeah, no, well done, Chris. Well done. And he's an amazing guy. Love Chris. Keep up the charity work. He's got plenty more and we'll promote that as he's doing it. So, yeah, well done, Chris. Well done. Good sport. So it's a busy time for birthdays. So we had Noah Maher last Tuesday, Kev's wife Fiona on Thursday, the brilliant John White had a birthday yesterday, and our very own Matt Adlington, it's his birthday next Tuesday. I wonder if he's going to be spending in Egypt or whether he'll be back. What do you reckon?
I hope back here, but we'll see.
Yeah, we shall see.
That's some great content if he's still stuck out there.
Now this.
The Southend United Ladies with Emily and Chloe.
So indeed, Southend ladies, we're going to be covering. Now, we knew Emily was going to be away, and Chloe did say if we get to the final, I want to be at Box Park, which, can't blame her. Just keep an eye on the score. It's still 1-1, so her nerves are probably all over the place at the moment. I bet it's, really tense in that place at the minute. But yeah, we'll see. So yeah, no ladies with us today. They will be for the first coverage, week of the season in a couple of weeks. But I went to see the ladies. They had a five-a-side tournament last weekend called the Lymphoma Cup, and that was raising money for lymphoma action. Now, that was in aid of Molly Lee, the goalkeeper, who, recently was diagnosed with lymphoma cancer. And I'm glad to say she's in the clear now. I met Molly last week. Great girl, great character. She's, fighting to get back on the pitch very, very soon, which is great. But yeah, I've got to say, it was a brilliant tournament. Some great goals, great games. Some of those girls are brutal, I have to say. There was a couple I was, really impressed with. There was a girl at the back, Jordan. I wouldn't go in a tackle with her, that's for sure. She took out everything that went near her, and got a shot on her as well. And there was another girl called Abby, brilliant on the left side, jinxed past a couple of players and was whipping balls into dangerous areas. So yeah, they look really good. So they lost the first game, but then I think they won the next 3 or 4 to finish top of the group, which put them in the semis. They won that, and then they went to the final. They won that as well. So yeah, brilliant. Well done, ladies. Then they had a pre-season friendly on Wednesday, back to 11-a-side against Malden and Tiptree. I understand there was a number of trialists involved, and one of the trialists actually got a hat-trick. They won 3-1, so she hasn't done her chances any harm. So girls are looking good going into the season. And their first game is on Sunday, the 17th of August, and that is against Chelmsford City at home, Garrans. So if you are free and available, get down to see that. Local Essex derby. And yeah, we shall see how that goes. So well done, ladies. Okay, so we've got next great interview, as I said, with Nick. It's about 20 minutes. So if you do miss a bit of it, go off to get a drink or whatever. We play back on Spotify and YouTube later on. So yeah, have a good listen. I'm going to turn the camera off, and we'll be back shortly. Don't go away, guys. This is Nick, aka Elvis, first team bus driver, telling us all the secrets of what goes on that bus. Now, I'm really excited to welcome our next guest of the show, Nick Bailey, who is the first team bus driver. Nick, welcome.
Yes, thanks very much, Phil. Yeah, it's good to be here.
Nick, first of all, tell me how this opportunity came about and how long you've been the driver for the first team squad.
Well, I originally was the coach driver 5 years ago when actually Sol Campbell was in charge. So that particular season when we was in League One, I started on that season, and then the pandemic hit. I moved on to doing something different on the HCVs to keep myself in work, and then I rejoined SBC, the company that I was obviously got the contract with Southend. I rejoined them earlier this season, or earlier last season, I should say. So yeah, I joined sort of midway through the season, and it's been really, obviously I've probably got the best part of the season leading up to Wembley and so forth.
Fantastic. So we're going to come on to that. But obviously you're the man to give us a lot of inside information. So firstly, we'll get the boring but essential stuff out of the way. Now, there must be a number of safety checks, procedures you've got to carry out before, away trips. I'm sure it's not as simple as just turning the key in the ignition, driving there, job done. What is the process of planning out a journey and going through all those checks?
Well, normally we get the itinerary sent to us a couple of days beforehand. So normally my company would have the itinerary sent to us, and then I always like to be forward planning and so forth. So I look at timings in terms of checks. I look at obviously traffic. It's such a time sensitive schedule that we have to work to. Obviously, it's imperative that we get to the ground on time. And quite honestly speaking with you, at the end of the day, it doesn't come down to whether there's traffic or not. It's my job to try and avoid all that.
Yeah.
And to get the team there exactly when they should be there. So it is a little bit of pressure at times because obviously there's sometimes unforeseen circumstances with traffic and so forth. But we've been pretty lucky, in fairness.
Super.
And obviously, you know, if we're staying overnight for the longer haul matches, then I'm normally out in the mornings just making sure the coach is tip top before the players get on board. But it's good fun. Good fun, and it's such an enjoyment to do it because obviously I'm a supporter as well.
Yeah. So on to the fun questions. So several of the players have informed me that Gus is the team DJ. Does that extend from the changing room to the bus? So who picks the tunes? And what's on his playlist if it is?
I would say Gus is a silent assassin as such. So he's when it comes to songs, when it comes to there's initiations for new players, etc. So if we do an overnighter, then normally the players, basically the new players that haven't been on the away match before and on overnighter, normally the meal before the meal on the evening before the match, that includes them having to normally stand on a chair and
Excellent.
sing a song.
So we've got a few new signings, so you'll get a few new tunes then, hopefully.
Absolutely, and to be honest with you, Phil, that also last year they encouraged me to do a song, and
what was the choice?
The first one I did, which was away at Gateshead on the final game of the season before the playoffs, and I did The Wonder of You with Elvis.
Nice.
And every game after that, I did a number they wanted me to do. I think they're quite superstitious footballers.
Yeah.
So they wanted me to do a number each game after that when we did the away games. So I'd like to think that carried us through the playoffs a little bit. But
Brilliant.
It's more down to the players before my singing.
Brilliant. So I think I know the answer to this one, but who is always late? Like, have you had to wait long for anyone for away games? And Kev getting a bit annoyed?
I've only come across one player, but I've only come across having to wait. Obviously, there's different pickup points. It's obviously Roots Hall, and then we pick up a few other points along the way as well, depending on where obviously the players are coming from. There's only one player. All I'll say is that there's only one player that's been late on the time that I've been doing it, and that was due to traffic in getting there. But to meet the coach. But all I'll say is that it's one of our forwards.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I had someone else down. The players are always telling me there's one particular, but yeah, okay. Interesting. Yeah. So you've got some long away trips this season. Obviously, Truro coming up, Carlisle, Gateshead, you mentioned, York, Scunthorpe. Who decides if and when you stop during the trips, like obviously Cornwall and Gateshead? Is it agreed with Kevin yourself, or are you totally in control of the journey?
Generally, what would normally happen on a long journey, if we're heading up north, we normally do a pickup at Brampton, at services near Huntington. And then normally the gaffer or Darren or Mark Bentley would generally sort of say to me, Nick, where do you think you're going to have a stop? I normally don't go any more than about sort of 2 hours without having a break for the lads. And generally the lads are not shy in saying, when are we going to have a stop, Nick?
Yeah.
They're never. There's one or two characters on the coach that they.
Sure, there is.
They're not shy in voicing their wants and so forth. So
yeah, I had a nightmare journey on my stag do a few years ago. We went up to Bournemouth for the weekend, and a mate of mine, he's a coach driver. He got a coach, hired one out, and I think it was on the Saturday, we went go-karting, and we had to go. I remember we had to go all through like this country lane on this bus, and we got to a point where there was this huge puddle. And we kind of stopped and we all looked at it. And Paul, the driver, said, right, I think everyone get off and I'll drive through it, take a bit of weight off. So as he was driving through it, there was this absolutely huge bang. I've never heard anything so loud in my life. It was like, if you imagine, it was in like a massive wooded area. It was like the Battle of Bastogne. I don't know if you've seen that Band of Brothers episode where it's all going off. It was so loud, Nick. I couldn't tell you how loud it was. It was huge. So the suspension went basically. So he said, right, we're going to have to walk the rest of the way. Obviously, he couldn't go any further with it, and he couldn't turn it round. So Paul had to skillfully reverse the bus about 2 miles back to try and get it sorted. So we had a great time, go-karting. He couldn't get a part for it. So basically, we had to drive. He had to drive the bus home like that from Bournemouth to Basildon when we came home, and it was just shaking like crazy. I felt like we had whiplash for about a week. But the funniest part was one of my mates, Tony. He's 6'5", fourth dan black belt, and he struggled to use the toilet on the coach anyway because they're not the biggest toilets, are they? So he couldn't get in the space, and you imagine this bus is shaking like hell, and there's Tony at the doorway trying to do his business. Water's going everywhere. It was just the funniest thing ever. Have you ever had any nightmare journeys like that where you've had, an issue like that and you've had to just get on with it?
Well, I have to say, one of the first, I can't remember where we was away last year when I started doing it in January earlier this year, but one of the first journeys that I did, I was just, I can't remember what motorway we were going down, but it was just catching so many potholes, and they're all playing their cards and that at the back of the. Obviously, there's tables and that on.
Sure, it wasn't an Essex game. There's potholes everywhere here.
It was just, I just caught them on the potholes, and I think they're what do they call them? The discs, what they play with. I don't know the counters.
Oh yeah.
That they, I don't know. When they're playing cards and stuff.
Yeah.
And I heard a load of them go, and all I could hear was a few voices of, "Blimey, Drive, what are you doing?" And all that, on the back of the coach. But I have to say, we haven't come across any bad experiences.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. I mean, when we get into the grounds and stuff, I normally would have spoken to the stadium. If I don't know the ground,
then
if it's somewhere new like Truro City, for instance, this season, then I would normally do the homework and find out what the situation is, getting in and out, and especially with some of the grounds in our league, because obviously some of them are quite small and stuff. The worst one I came across, the worst one I hate is Maidenhead.
Right.
But I think they've gone down anyway. I think so.
Yeah.
We'll have that this year.
Yeah.
But no, we haven't had any really bad experiences as yet.
Fingers crossed.
But I don't want to keep saying we haven't.
No, I know. I feel like I'm setting you up here for something this season. You'll be coming back to me, or Kev will be after me. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So are they all well behaved, or is it like a school outing? Like, do you ever have to shout? I remember school outings. Oi, behave at the back, or I'm going to kick you off my bus. Have you ever had that?
Well, I have to say, when we was coming back from Forest Green and Rochdale, the coach was rocking. They were enjoying the moment.
Yeah, I bet.
I have to say, they're all good lads, to be fair, and there's some good banter that goes on. And the more the season went on, and the more they got to know me this year.
Yeah, brilliant.
And the gaffer got to know me. You get the occasional comment of, "Oh, what are we going this way for?" And they don't have the luxury of seeing what I see on the sat nav and seeing what traffic.
Backseat drivers.
Oh yes. Yeah, I could name a couple of them, but I won't embarrass them.
I'm sure I know the names. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Have you ever left anything behind? So I remember a game I played for a side years ago. We were playing away in Chelmsford, and when I was getting changed, I realised I forgot my boots. Schoolboy error. So I was the main striker. So my father-in-law went back home to get them. And what they did, they put me in the subs boots, which were way too big for me just to start the game. So I was waiting in the changing rooms or just outside. I didn't get to do a warm up, and I was holding these clown boots, hoping that he would arrive in time. Unfortunately, he didn't. So as kickoff was about, the start, I had to run on the pitch, stick these massive boots on. And then about a minute into the game, he arrived in my boots. So I did a quick change and ended up, funny enough, scored a hat-trick that day. Crazy memory. Have you ever had a situation where, someone's forgotten something or you've had to turn back? Like, I guess leaving the kit behind or leaving Kev behind would be a bad one. Have you ever had anything like that?
We had it was a defender. I'm not going to say any more than that. A defender. I know defender had a word with the kit man on one of the games this year, last season, on the quiet, obviously without Gaffer knowing, just to say that he'd forgotten his tracksuit top and stuff, and obviously protocol is that they have to wear their attire as such when they're at the games. I know there was a quiet conversation going on. To see whether there was a spare tracksuit top, just so obviously defender sort of didn't get himself fined. And in fairness, they are sort of, especially after a long trip back, they are a little bit. Sometimes I find earpods, and then I find I find the odd bits of kit and stuff, the odd pair of socks if they've trained somewhere on the way up to an away, a long away game or whatever. For instance, when we did Wembley the day before we did Wembley, they trained at Tottenham's training ground before we went to the hotel in St Albans. And again, just the footballers are they're a special breed, as in they just focus on their football and stuff. And sometimes it does feel like a little bit like they need a bit of
parenting, don't they?
Yeah.
So let's talk journeys home. You touched on that. I imagine the mood is very different if we've won or lost. So if we've won or got a decent point away, I imagine that noise is a bit elevated on the coach. Or if we've lost, I imagine it's a bit like a graveyard, and they, like you say, to stick their AirPods in and go to sleep. Would that be accurate? What do you prefer? Do you prefer a quiet
100%.
journey home or a rocking coach?
Oh, I prefer a rocking coach. But,
So win. You like us to win.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you a couple of examples, Phil. When I was doing the team 5 years ago, we had a 1-0 loss away to Dover Athletic in the FA Cup when Sol Campbell was in charge, and I think all Southend will remember that day that we got dumped out of the cup by Dover, and I've never known an atmosphere so definitely just so quiet. It was just keep doing your driving, Nick. Just keep looking forward and just basically focus on what I've got to do.
Yeah.
Last season, 3-0 loss away to Boston United.
Yeah, remember it.
Game. That wasn't a great performance that day. I know Gaffer wasn't obviously happy at all. And in them type of matches, when maybe Gaffer's not happy, and the players are not happy, obviously, either as well. You just, as a driver, you just do what I'm there to do.
Yeah.
Which is just stay quiet. I just generally stay quiet and just get them back home.
Yeah.
But you look at the highs as well. You look at the highs as well, Phil.
Yeah, of course.
Forest Green in the playoffs. I was outside the change rooms when they was all coming back in, and you really feel part of it. They're all giving me a hug and that as well, and that's the most enjoyable.
Amazing.
I mean, I stopped at a BP garage on the way back from Forest Green, and just to buy some extra beers for them to enjoy the night.
Brilliant.
Stopped at a BP on the way back for them they was all queuing up at the night kiosk to buy themselves some beers to have on the way back. So,
fantastic.
The highs and lows of football.
Yeah. So I was going to ask about that. Do you ever stop on the way back home for food? Like, does Kev ever say, let's do a Mackey's or a KFC run? I can't imagine he'll ever say that, but do they ever stop?
Well, actually, different clubs do different things. So Southend, the Blues generally, win, lose or draw, they generally have Domino's, normally Domino's pizzas. It normally gets pre-ordered, and about 10 minutes before the end of the game, normally I have to meet the Domino's pizza boy
right
at the front of the coach, and normally they will get a sack of pizzas. That's just part of their process as a club. They obviously fill the fill the lads up with carbs immediately after a game.
Yeah.
So normally we would get they get a load of pizzas delivered, and then generally we don't need to stop on the way back in the toilet stop or whatever.
Yeah.
Dare I say it, Phil? Dare I say it? I did a couple of games at Colchester United last year, because we also do Colchester United's team.
Yeah.
And they're different. They have like pre-heated meals in like an insulation pack.
Right.
That really, I have to say, looking at them, they don't look half as enjoyable as what.
Like a Ryanair flight.
Yeah, absolutely that. Absolutely that. We have stopped and they have grabbed something to eat before, but normally with the Blues, they, as I say, they have the pizzas. When the players are getting back on, there's a stack of pizzas there ready for them.
Now, Nick, I always notice when away teams arrive at Roots Hall, it's always a tight squeeze getting them into the coach, getting the coach into the car park. Are there any particular grounds you don't look forward to going to? Like, what's your favourite place? Who looks after you? Or do they just say, park it there, mate, and ignore you? Or, who really looks after you and who doesn't?
Boston United was extremely frustrating, purely because the entrance into Boston United, you're going in the same way as the flow of traffic into the car park. So,
right.
So you're sitting there and gaffers sort of looking and going, well, how long is it going to take us to get in here? And, and generally you'd think that the stewards would just sort of halt things so they get the team bus in. But that's a frustrating place. But one of the most awkward places is Gillingham, although I haven't been there in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Gillingham, we have to back it in under the stadium. But obviously that hasn't applied to us in the last couple of years. But Maidenhead's one. Maidenhead's not a nice place to have dropped. There's some grounds that I haven't even been to as yet, although we've been there the last few years. Your likes of Wealdstone and places like that. I'm not sure about them because I haven't actually done them yet. But generally, I mean, Forest Green's lovely. That's nice and easy. Most of the grounds we go to, one that the kit man doesn't like is Tamworth. Tamworth, you're having to take the kit all the way round. So normally what happens on match day, if the logistics are right, we generally, me and the kit man will take all the kit, all the cases and stuff, all the kit and equipment down to the ground, and then normally I will then come back and pick the players up after they've had their evening pre-match meal from the hotel. But Tamworth's not particularly nice because all the kit has to be lugged all the way, wheeled all the way down the other side of the pitch.
So not on your Christmas card list, those clubs?
Absolutely not. And the smaller clubs like Truro, again, that'll all be new this season.
Yeah, of course. Hopefully they'll have some pasties ready for us when we get there.
Well, I'll be the first in the queue, but Seagulls are nicking down there.
Yeah, they are like terrorists down there, aren't they? I was talking to someone about St Ives the other day. They're unbelievable. They really are unbelievable.
Yeah.
But that's one to look forward to. So, Nick, talk to me about the playoffs. That must have been a really exciting journey driving up to Wembley. And I imagine the mood on the bus was like no other games. What do you recall of that day? What was it like approaching the stadium?
The surreal thing was from the hotel in St Albans. We had an escort take us all the way down. So whenever we was, and that felt really quite special, to be fair. Whenever we was getting roundabouts and stuff, they were stopping the traffic, getting us through. And then as we went, as we got closer to Wembley, down on the 406, obviously as the traffic got even more heavier. It was almost like the waters parted for us when we was coming down to the stadium. And then obviously you had the notorious Oldham fans all giving us the
being polite,
all giving us the thumbs, the booze and the thumbs down as we were coming past them. But the one thing that was special was when as we approached the service gate where we had to go into the stadium, to see the Southend fans just all cheering the way.
Yeah.
They were greeting the coach. I have to say, it made the hairs on my back stand up.
Amazing
So
memories.
What the players must have felt.
Yeah, completely.
So welcoming for them.
Yeah.
So that was special.
Amazing.
That was special. So, and as a supporter as well, again, I feel privileged to be doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, incredible.
You live in the moment.
Amazing. So I was saying, I saw the sports team scientist, Ben, who I know really well, at the after party. And he was with a couple of mates, one I also know, a lad called Archie, absolutely smashed off his head. So Ben told me a week later that Archie ended up on the team bus on the way home. Do you remember that? And did he behave himself?
Yes. Archie basically, his friend was, so is it Ben that you said?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah. So Ben and Archie ended up on the team coach, obviously coming back. And it was quite funny because Archie, his friend, was a player that I managed with my youth football team.
Right.
A few years ago.
Yeah.
So that's the first time that I'd seen Archie since he was a player.
Yeah.
Playing for me as an under
Not a bad player, actually.
Youth team player for Beach United. So,
yeah.
Sorry?
I said not a bad player, actually.
No, absolutely not. No, not at all. So we did find that there's obviously some families and stuff that came back on the coach, all to do with the players and stuff. Some players didn't come back on the coach that night from Wembley because they were going to go home with their families. And then we had, we had some friends and family of the gaffer and a few of the players basically on the coach coming back to Southend that night. So,
have you ever had any unexpected guests on the bus like that?
Ron Martin.
We won't mention that one. Surprised you didn't throw him off.
Yeah, that was he Ron Martin jumped on the bus on the coach 5 years ago for one game. I think it was the game before Sol Campbell just took over. And it's a funny old atmosphere with Ron Martin on there, I can assure you.
I can imagine. So as I said previously, Nick, you've got a long journey to Cornwall coming up. I'd love to know how that journey went. So hopefully we'll get you on again. Will you come on again? Talk to us?
100%. I would love to. Any time you like. And as I say, at the end of the day, it's a privilege. It's it's good to be on and to be giving you a few details, obviously, of how things are on the team coach. But I'll come back on the podcast any time you want.
Great stuff.
And all I can say is they are a great bunch of lads.
Yeah,
a great bunch of lads.
So, Nick, great speaking to you. Fingers crossed for the Gateshead journey. Hopefully no potholes. We'll speak to you soon. Thanks for coming on and up the Shrimpers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was Nick Bailey, a.k.a. Elvis. Great guy. So we're gonna be talking Gateshead in a minute, but all three of us are kind of watching the England ladies at the moment. Of course, it's gone to penalties, hasn't it? And we've just missed one. We've missed two each. So we'll keep an eye on that. Who's up next? Is it Spain? Yeah, Spain next. If they miss this, we've got one more. So we'll keep a close eye on that. So listen, we're going to finish the show by looking at Gateshead away. Now, we finished there last season. Last game, Spain just missed. We did one more. We finished there 0-0 last game of the season. We just needed a draw. Finn, would we be happy to go in there get a point this time, or is it a different kind of game now?
I think you want to start your season off on the winning foot. And to be honest, I think it's going to be quite a different Gateshead to the team we played in the last game of the season. They've lost a lot of players. They've lost Greg Ollie, who was obviously their captain, to York, so that's a massive loss. Luke Hannon, and to be honest, those are probably two of their best, if not their two best players. So certainly Luke Hannon was probably their best player last season, putting in quite similar numbers to Gus Scott-Morris. So I think it's going to be a different game. It's going to be a different kind of opposition that we're playing. And I think they're going to be a bit weaker, and hopefully we're going to be a bit stronger. So I back us to win. I want us to win. It'd be nice to start off the season on the winning foot.
Yeah, we'll look at their summer activity in a moment. But Charlie, your reaction to Gateshead first game? Would you be happy going there again? I'm sure that the Gateshead pubs would be happy with all the shrimpers descending upon Newcastle area in the summer. Buying all the drinks up. What's your thoughts?
I mean, it's not a bad time of the year to go, is it? In the summer. But yeah, like Finn said, I think it's going to be a very different Gateshead team we're looking at. I think it's well documented. I think they were under an embargo not too long ago. They've had a lot of off-field issues, losing a couple of their key men. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they sort of start their season. But personally, yeah, I think want to get up there and start the season with a win.
Indeed. So I've had a quick change because the England ladies have done it. They've only got a one on penalties, haven't they? So England. Why can't the men win penalty shootouts? What have we got to do? We've got to watch what the ladies do. Unbelievable. So Chloe will be really partying now in the box park. I don't blame her. Well done, England ladies. Fantastic. Back to Southend. Gateshead have been looking at their activity. Not a lot happened until yesterday, really, where they did sign a couple of players. They had signed Callum Johnson, right back from Bradford on a free. David Ferguson, left back from Hartlepool on a free. So it looks like they've gone for players, in the higher leagues to bring that experience in. They have promoted 4 of their academy players. So it would suggest they don't have a lot of money to spend, and they've had to be wise with it. A real strange one, this. I wanted your take on it. They signed a keeper coach and then sent him on loan to Darlington, which is really weird. Yeah, I'm looking at your face. When I saw that, I was like, what? So, yeah, Peter Jameson, they signed as a goalkeeper coach and player and sent him away on loan. Have you ever heard of that?
I've never heard of that, no.
Yeah, new one on me as well. Although I have noticed they've there's a couple of their players that have on sort of player coach roles this season.
Yeah, I've been interested one to watch. Like I say, they probably don't have a lot of money. Regan Booty left to Barrow, who's a good player. They have bought in. They bought in the last 2 days. They bought in Dom Telford, striker from Newport. He was been at Barnet. He's good player actually. Will get goals in this league. And Harry Chapman, midfielder, they've also bought in for the season on loan. So it's going to be a very different side to when we faced them at the end of the last season. Like you say, our side is not going to be too different. What do you see Kev going with the starting lineup for us? Start with you, Charlie.
You know what? I think the first half of what we played against Wimbledon isn't going to be too far off it, to be honest with you. I'm not sure if Gubbins will come in. Maybe Goodliff will probably replace Gubbins, I was to imagine. But yeah, the rest, to be honest, I wouldn't change it too much.
Finn, for you, I think Harry Boys will come in, definitely. I'll be surprised if he didn't. Give us that balance.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting season because you mentioned Gubbins there. I think it'll be an interesting season for him. I think on a recent podcast I did, I said he was going to be a standout player, like a bit of a breakthrough season for him. He's one player I personally really, really rate. I think he's we probably haven't seen quite as much of him yet. They're quite his best, but I think he's got a lot of potential. But yeah, I think Harry Boyce will come in and do a job, I'm sure. But it's going to be really interesting because if you can somehow get a lineup with the likes of Kendall, Slavy, Leon, Keenan, Harry Boyes, Gus, you can keep going on. Harry Taylor, like that is, I'll be honest, I think that's one of the best starting 11s in the whole league. And I know a lot of people are going to say about
it's a very healthy squad, I've got to say, isn't it?
Yeah, and also the squad depth as well. If you think,
we're always a hard team to break down. Defensive record has been great. And, we've got some strength at the back. Like you say, Goody. Harry Taylor is just unbelievable defender. He's so good. And Joe Gubbins yesterday against Wimbledon, I thought he had a really, really good game, actually.
Yeah.
Like you say. So I think there's plenty of competition for places there. Lots of balance.
Absolutely.
And can't wait.
I
just a
just
couple of
say,
weeks
I
away.
think you see.
Sorry, Charlie, you go.
No, I was just going to say, I think you saw on Saturday's game, the second sort of 11 that come on, or second 10, that's the depth in numbers now, and it's a really strong bench. And to be honest, it's going to be difficult for some players because there's going to be some players that would typically start that are now maybe going to be fighting to stay in the squad, which is a good headache for Kev to have, I guess.
Very true.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you think a couple of seasons ago, we had that game against Chesterfield where we had, I think it was 2 subs or maybe 1 sub. And you go from that to now, it's just now we could literally play. We played 2 of those teams. We were playing one team in one half and then another team in the second. I think both of those teams would easily compete in this league. So the squad depth we have now is amazing. Yeah.
Great point, Finn. I remember looking over actually because I sit right next to the dugout, and I remember looking over all those bodies in that on that bench. And I did think back to that game where we had 1 sub, and you look at it now, like you say, there's strength in depth. There's plenty of players for, Kev to keep happy. Maybe he needs to take him to Spain again. I don't know. It's going to be, that's part of management, isn't it? Man management is where it comes into play. But I think, we've kept the core of the squad. We've strengthened. I still think we may, as I said earlier, bring another striker in. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But I think we're going to be up there definitely this season. Playoffs, even maybe pushing for that top spot. I know people were saying, well, York, it's theirs to lose. Yeah, if you look at last couple of seasons, clubs that have spent big, they've gone on to, smash the league, but it's not always, not always the way. Look at Forest Green. So it's going to be interesting days. So, okay. So that is the end of the show. Thank you for coming on, guys. We're going to be back on Monday the 11th. Our show is going to run every Monday night at 6:30. We just had a bit of an extra length tonight, but it's going to be about 50 minutes for each Monday, starting from the 11th of August. We're going to have the reaction from Gateshead. Hopefully we'll have Comedy Corner with Matt Edlington. Hopefully he's not still going to be stuck in Egypt, and he's going to be back with us. There'll be a chance to win 2 home match tickets of your choice for the season. Just keep watching on our socials, Insta, X, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We'll get more details of that. We've got what else? We've got teammates with Tom Hopper and Gus Scott Morris, and we've got Molly Lee from the ladies team About Me. So just want to say thank you to my co-hosts Finn and Charlie tonight. Thank you to our sponsor Surgical Holdings, and also to our listeners who've been with us. Enjoy the show. I hope you've enjoyed the show. We're going to go and party now for England winning, and we will see you real soon.
You've been listening to the Talking Shrimpers podcast, sponsored by Surgical Holdings. We'll be back real soon.
Up the Shrimpers. We'll talk to you soon.